The moment you feel you need her is exactly when you've already lost her. This is why 99% of men fail at attraction without realizing it. 1. The moment you realize. The moment you feel you need her is the moment you've already lost her without realizing it. Let this sentence echo inside you. Its truth runs deeper than it seems. Strength doesn't come from chasing a woman, nor from desperately seeking her approval, nor from constantly trying to prove you're worthy of her. Number strength is born when you walk away silently, when you realize she isn't the center of your life, but you are the center of your own world. When you understand your worth doesn't live in her words or reactions, but in the roots you've planted deep within yourself. 2. The illusion of romantic dependence. Imagine if everything you've been taught about women was designed to make you a submissive, weak follower in the name of romance. This isn't for men seeking validation. It's for those who've decided to reclaim themselves. If you're tired of only being seen when you give, it's time to choose strength. She doesn't want you to be her shadow, not the man flooding her inbox, nor the one whose tears fall with every step she takes away. She's drawn to the man who doesn't bend to moods, who exits conversations when respect is absent. That's the man who stirs something deeper than admiration, a sense of safety. But you were taught the opposite. They told you, be nice. Step back. Put her first. A happy wife means a happy life, as if it's sacred law. Yet you see the result. The more emotional you become, the more she withdraws. You weren't created to follow, but to lead. Love isn't weakness, nor does honesty mean neglecting yourself for her. Real respect begins when you respect yourself before offering it to her. 3. True strength versus control. Today you'll learn how to own strength without domination. You don't need tricks or games, just a transformation into the man she follows without being asked. Step 1. Free yourself from need. The second you feel you can't breathe without her, remember you're losing yourself piece by piece. When your actions hinge on her moods, your presence dims. You don't need to speak. She feels your desperation for her approval in your tone, your rushed replies, your pleading eyes. You give her your power, thinking it's love. But love isn't becoming her extension, a temporary comfort she settles for when no one else is around. A woman can't respect a man who can't lead himself. When she sees you weak before her, her desire fades, even if she never says it. What you call love is often emotional dependency, the killer of attraction. She didn't enter your life to complete you, but to share your fire, your vision, your purpose, your path. If you make her the goal, you lose your compass. Meaning must come from within. Otherwise, you become an emotional beggar waiting for her validation to feel alive. That isn't love. It's drowning in delusion. 4. The magnetism of self-possession. If you want her drawn to you, be unwavering, not cold, but clear, solid, rooted in who you are. The man who owns his life doesn't fear loss because he knows it won't collapse without someone in it. Real attraction comes from confidence, discipline, from a man not easily swayed. Every second spent analyzing her, chasing her signals, is a second stolen from your future. Pull your energy from this distraction and invest it in building yourself. Be obsessed, but with your growth, your next level version, your vision. Wake up, learn, evolve. Become a man whose journey she wants to join, not its center. Stop wasting time on those who don't see you. Focus on becoming someone whose presence commands awe. Read, train, purge your energy of weakness. Distance yourself from anyone who shrinks your vision. You are the new beginning you've been waiting for from others. 5. The unspoken truth. She seeks. She won't say it, but she's searching for you, the man unafraid to lose her if it costs his dignity. The man who won't compromise his truth to please anyone. Become that man when you reclaim every piece you gave her for free, your patience, energy, silence, forced laughter. Stop begging. Start choosing yourself daily. When you do, she'll feel it. Not through words, but actions. She'll become the one chasing, asking, giving more. Not because you forced her, but because you finally become someone worth emulating. This isn't a call to be harsh, but to be whole. To understand self-love isn't selfish. It's necessary. To wake up knowing you're complete even if everyone disappears. Only then do you become unforgettable. Not because you sought love to fill a void, but because you possessed yourself enough to give from overflow. That's real strength. Not owning her, but owning yourself. Not proving, but being. 6. The art of non-reaction. Step 2. Master your mind. A woman is only drawn to the man who knows himself, who moves with steadiness even when chaos reigns. She doesn't respect him because he dominates, but because he wins the battle no one sees. The war within himself, not between her and him, but between his ego and discipline, his emotions and his mission. Every time you crumble when she ignores you, every time your energy shifts because she didn't smile, you've surrendered your greatest power, inner stability. Your task is to forge a mind unbroken by rejection, unfed by attention. A mind beauty can't buy and distance can't shake. Most men don't lose because they lack charm. They lose because they can't lead themselves. They melt under pressure, collapse when tested, retreat when life challenges them. What they never realize, she's testing you to see if you're a real man or just a mask trembling under emotion's weight. If you want her to see you, stop performing. Step off the autopilot of quick reactions. Build your awareness like a warrior crafts his weapon, slowly, precisely, ruthlessly. Observe your feelings without enslaving yourself to them. Listen to your fears without bowing. When tested, don't respond like a man trying to prove his masculinity. Respond like a man who knows and needs no proof. This strength can't be faked. You either build it or you don't. 7. Silence is power. Forget the boy who reacts. Don't send angry texts. Don't chase explanations. Don't justify your worth when misunderstood. Pause. Stay silent. Because silence is the mark of strength, while constant reaction is the language of weakness in disguise. When she realizes you always respond, she knows she holds your keys. But when you're unmoved, when storms don't shake you, she'll drift closer without realizing it. She's searching for that rarity, a man who keeps his balance no matter how fierce the storm. These men aren't born, they're made. Made at dawn, in exhaustion, in repetition. Made every time you push your body past its limits despite craving comfort. Sculpted through discipline, through refusing knee-jerk reactions, through writing your thoughts instead of living as their prisoner. They're sharpened by philosophy, not to flaunt intellect, but to reprogram their inner world. They're built by delaying gratification, by turning away from temptation because they carry something greater. A masterful mind isn't rigid, it's strong enough to stay firm when everything else shifts. Show her who you are without speaking. Let her discover you're not ruled by her moods, but by your values. Let her see your compass points inward, that your priorities aren't dictated by fleeting emotions. Feel without acting, hurt without collapsing. The man who smiles through inner tempests is the one who owns control, because nothing captivates a woman like unshakable presence. Not because you're cold, but because you're clear, anchored, and certain. And this all begins with one choice: discipline over emotional chaos. 8. The frame that commands respect. Step 3. Control the frame. Here's the simple truth. If you don't own the frame, you own nothing. You're just a shadow in her world, orbiting her with no center. She isn't impressed by men who soften when she pulls away. She doesn't trust those who change values just to keep her. She wants to see if you truly stand on solid ground, or if your claims are facades crumbling at the first test. Every time you abandon a principle to please her, you strip away a layer of her respect. What matters isn't your words, but what you silently compromise. The frame isn't about controlling others, it's about holding your course amid noise. The man with a frame doesn't yell or demand respect, his presence alone commands it. She notices this. She sees when you stay silent in the face of disrespect. She logs when you retreat from your boundaries. Not because she's manipulative, but because her instincts crave safety, and safety flows from a man who walks alone without hesitation when his truth is tested. The frame isn't arrogance, it's knowing what you represent and being ready to protect it. She might test you with a word, a withdrawal, a subtle provocation. But what she's really asking is, are you still the man you claim to be? The second you shift your energy to avoid conflict, you lose. The moment you excuse bad behavior because she's close, you dissolve in her eyes. No one inspires respect while apologizing for their own standards. If you're honest with yourself, don't explain, prove. 9. Building unshakable foundations. Building a frame requires knowing your values like they're part of your blood, living them without negotiation, even with those you love most. Don't justify your boundaries, don't beg for understanding. Let your worth reflect in your demeanor and actions. She doesn't fall for flexibility, but for the man rooted in who he is. When you say no calmly, everything changes. Not because you attack, but because you're assured. Most men either explode in rage or crumble under pressure. But when you refuse with steady poise, she senses you need no proof. The frame is realizing you're not seeking acceptance, you're the one choosing. She enters your world, not the other way around. Your life, your mission, your system, that's magnetism. And if you taint it with people-pleasing, you become weightless. Holding your frame means you won't betray yourself for anyone. If you don't tolerate lateness, don't swallow anger. If betrayal is a red line, don't negotiate. If your purpose is priority, don't let fleeting emotions steal your compass. She tests you not to leave, but to confirm your frame is real. Every time you hold firm, her respect deepens. But one moment of weakness and you might lose her gaze forever. The frame is built from within, not by force. You need a clear direction, a vision to live by. If you can't lead yourself toward it, don't expect her to follow. You're not here to float in her emotional chaos, but to guide her toward order. And if she won't walk with you, let her go, not bitterly, but peacefully. Because those who know their path understand no one deserves to stay unless they add real value. 10. The irresistible man. Final step: lead, don't chase. A real man doesn't run after a woman. He builds a world she chooses to enter. Leadership isn't in pursuit, it's in stability. Nothing attracts her more than a man who doesn't over-explain, who doesn't litter gifts like lifelines, who doesn't beg for attention. She's drawn to the man walking confidently toward his purpose, no glancing back. The kind who makes her instincts whisper, follow him or be left behind. When you chase her, you hand her the reins. You force her to lead when deep down she doesn't want to. Chasing screams, you don't see your worth. You need her validation to feel whole. But what if you transferred that validation inward? What if you ran toward your greatness, not her? Then without a word, she'd sensed you. Because attraction doesn't start with desire, but with fullness. Build a world so rich in presence that your silence becomes language and your steps become messages. A man who doesn't speak of his worth but radiates it in his demeanor, his unshakable gaze, his decisions. Your discipline is your magnet. The path you walk is your only showcase. And if she doesn't see it, she isn't ready. And you don't stop for the blind. Keep building. Honing skills, cementing stability, chasing excellence. For women, you become a force in yourself, a name that opens doors, a presence that speaks for you. And through it all, stay tender but unbreakable. Kind but unbendable. Don't chase. Those meant to sync with you will feel your value without you bargaining for it. Remember, your time isn't a gift to everyone. Your energy isn't free for the taking. You're not here for entertainment, but for evolution. And if she's the right woman, she'll feel safe with this man. The one who leads without chasing, who creates calm certainty. A man so rooted in himself that his love doesn't scream. It arrives. A presence that can't be played, bought, or justified. And that is what awakens her deepest respect. Finally, you weren't born to beg for love or negotiate your space. You came to expand it, to impose your existence without raising your voice, to enter every room with eyes that declare certainty and a heart that stands firm. When you stop trying to be loved and start building a life that commands respect, you take another form. Women notice. Opportunities approach. The world bows to those who don't bend. You don't need to be perfect, just honest in your progress. Your leadership begins when your excuses end. Your strength starts when you do what you fear. Your confidence builds when you vow never to abandon yourself again. You're not broken, just buried in temporary comfort and fear unworthy of you. Now burn those layers. Rise, not for her, but for the man you see inside when no one's watching. For the part of you that refuses to shrink, that doesn't beg for love or apologize for choosing its own path. This is your life, your story, and it's time to write it as if every word matters.